Hello, Odd Job Doer here, and today on Odd Job Doer's Guide to Tools, I have here a something for mat cutting. This here is the Artist Elite Mat Cutter by Logan, model 450-1, and this here came with, I can't remember how much it cost, but it came. If you're into like cutting mats or foam board for doing your own framing of stuff, this is kind of handier for probably more common sizes, normally smaller sizes. From what I can tell, you got your business in here between these two black brackets, and it looks like it'd probably take maybe a 41-inch piece of stock. So, I mean, if you have something like a 48, I don't know if it comes in 48 anymore. I thought it came in 40 by like a 60 maybe. So yeah, it'd be hard to do something 60 on this, but a 40 by 40 you could work with. That's one thing to do. Basically, what I'm going to try to do here is show how to cut some matting / foam board. I'm not going to do foam board because that's pretty easy. But this right here, most of it is assembled. I think this part here, you might have to put these together, these little handles. But the other thing is you got this gauge here, this ruler. And this ruler here has a peg on the back of it. And it will just go down the bottom. And you'll notice here there's this measuring device. Well, I already know that I'm going to be cutting something down this size. I have on my tape measure a little sticky note here. That's a little handy note to have. And I want it to be 22 minus a 1/16 of an inch, and 28 minus a 1/16 of an inch. So basically 27 and, man, it's like 15/16. Did I get it right? Anyways, or 21 and 15/16. So I'm going to go ahead and set my gauge here. I'm going to set that to, the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go 22 and 28. Well, it only goes up to 20, so I'm not going to be able to set it anywhere. I'm going to take it all the way to the back here, and I'll put it down here still. The peg goes in the board right here like so. Now, also that came with this setup is a couple other dealies. This here is the straight cutter. Looks like that. You grab it like this, and be careful. You should have a sharp razor blade razor here. When you push down, it comes out. And also on the side here, maybe you have a little sticker on there. There's a first notch sets for a 3/16 mat cutting. No, foam board cutting. Let me get some light on this here. And the back part here, it says standard mat board. So you have this little nut here, you give it a loosen, and we'll just bring it up. And if you put it all the way back, it's kind of like in safe mode there. You can tighten it down, and then when you push down this, you shouldn't get cut. But you can still get cut from the side. So what we're going to be doing here is this first little notch there. Put it in there, tighten this down. And so when you push down, it should cut through mat board. And what this does here is you have these two notches, and these two notches will fit in the grooves of this metal guide rod here. There's a groove right along here, and it fits right in like this. Okay, so that's in there. It slides up and down that metal rod, ruler, straight edge, and push down to a grab motion like that. Now, the other tool that comes with this here is for doing beveled cuts. So when you have your fancy part, you're looking at an artwork that's framed, and you have like an inside bevel cut. This is what this does, a 45 degree on it. And same thing, it has these two little hooks here the hook's in the same groove. And when you push down this here, you can see a sharp blade will come through. Looks about 1/8 of an inch or so, maybe a little bit more, but that's to go through your standard thickness of a mat board. And it has a bevel cutter. This one's model 702 bevel cutter. It tells you what blades it used here, which is a blades number 270 from Logan. And it has a line here. Now this line here corresponds to pretty close to where this blade comes out, and we'll show you how this line works later on cutting a mat. So the parts we have is of this mat cutter. As we got the part here, the straight edge, and or I guess guide rail, if you want the technical term, guide rail. And so that's your working part that you go up against. You have the squaring bar, which is down here, this little metal part here, and that I think I put in there myself. I can't remember, like it's a one-time assembly maybe. Yeah, it's in there pretty good. Then you have your measuring bar and your measuring bar stop, which I already showed you, which I already moved to the end. You have your mat guide channel, which is these black ones here and up there. They're at an angle. And your mat guide, which is this right here, it slides up and down like so. Alright. And what am I missing here? Rail stop down here. Rail stop is actually the black part here, I believe. And that's about it. And of course the cutting board. And this right here is a slip sheet, which is actually a piece of old matting. This came with it though, actually. But if you have another scrap from doing mat cutting, have at it, because I'm sure it's going to get worn out. This here, you don't use on straight cuts, but you do need it for beveled. Just want to set off the side here for now. And yeah, I'm going to put this into straight cut mode. So if you're cutting a foam board, or if you're going to cut a mat to size up to the frame, that's what we'll be doing first. And it's basically just like this. You loosen these nuts right here, and this thing, after you loosen it enough, it should slide off and or pick out, up and off. You won't need that. And now we have it where we should be able to slide in some mat board, which I just happen to have one here. I have this color I'm going to be framing something with soon. And the back side is actually black. This here has black in it. Now, this right here is about 32 by 22 and an eighth about, okay? And what I need to be is 22 and a 16th. No, less than that. So that 21 and 15 sixteenths. So I'm going to go 22 and go back a 16th, and 28 and a 16th. Now, if this the measuring bar down here. By the way, I'm doing it on the floor of the kitchen, so it's the most inconvenient spot. But if this here would be extended out more, I'd have a good reference to measure to. But since it's not, I'm going to have to just kind of work around it and gauge it up. So this goes in here, and I can't quite tell. Yes, I think I can actually. I think by looking at this here blade configuration and where the notch is at, it's pretty close to being right up against the, it's going to be pretty close to being right up against this guide rail right here. So, I'm going to go ahead and slip this. First of all, I look at my mat and I say I like this bottom side here better than this top side here because there's a wrinkle in here. So I'm going to be cutting off that. So lift this up, put this down on top of this gauge and up against the squaring bar, which is down here. Squaring bar is down there. Let's see if I can zoom in on that a little better. Squaring bar. Squaring bar. Squaring bar? Okay. So it's down there. And I can now shut this down on it. And I'll take a measurement of it. This is, make sure I get the right cut right. Measure 500 times, cut twice. So this is going to be the 28. Bring it like so. And we can go down quite a bit, of course. See where we are now. And that, so that is going to do it about, that's actually right about 28, right on. I'll actually measure the other way from here over and see what we got going. Okay, from there over, that is right about 28 minus the 16th. And I'm going to check the measurement at the top there. Make sure I am good to go on that. And this guardrail rail, it has kind of a, like I think a little bit of a piece of rubber or something underneath it too. It keeps stuff from sliding around too easy. So this here just to make sure I'm squarish. On my mat bore, which I am not, but this here is a little more. 16th. Okay, there we go. Good there. Recheck here. Okay, now if I want to do a shorter measure, I can just take it from the other side here too, at the top, and make sure they're both equal. That's about an 1/8 less than 2 inches. 1/8 less than 2 inches. Okay, good. Now, without touching anything, I'll bring it around like so, and I'll take the straight edge with the notches in it again, and position this above the mat surface here. Okay, now I'm going to hold down on the rail and push down this and slide it on down. Being careful at the end that you don't lose control of it, because at the end it does kind of spring free. And there, that cut is done. Nice and smooth. Now that I already know that on this side here, this is kind of butchered up, and so I'm going to cut that end off. So bring it around this way, take out my old piece and toss it aside for now. And this is going to be a little bit more difficult because I really don't need to we're going to go this way. I might just bring it around town here. And remeasure it all, because I already forgot. What do we have here? We have about 22, 3/16 maybe? There. And from the top side here, we got 22 and an eighth. An eighth. So it's a little bit off already. And I want 16th less than 22. So I'm going to pull off this little gauge here, because I don't need it right now. Take my whole unit and slide it over some. Like so. Bring it down like this. And maybe move the camera, make sure everything's going right. Well, I guess you can still see it here. I'm still in business. So I'll bring this down here and want to cut off ever so slightly. This is going to be a tougher cut, but it's easier because you have the meat over here on the squaring piece. Ever so slightly, I believe it's like about 2/8 at the bottom. Let me get this again here. 22. Okay, I'm going to take off 3/16 at the bottom here. So I bring it down like that. Measure over 3/16 sticking out. Yeah. So we got there, we got 2, 3/16 there. And the top, I think, was going to be about 2/16. If this is all correctly. Right about there, yeah. Okay, so this here is looking good. Now, same thing. I will start my cut at the top here. Awkwardly hold it into place and sliding it on down. There, nice and smooth. Got the little piece off there. And a nice clean cut here compared to what it was before. Alright, so basically I have this right here, nice and clean cuts. And I will measure it and get ready for the bevel cutting. Okay, now we'll work on the beveling part here. And open this up here and feast your eyes on this scale right down here. So we've got that scale there, and that is how much of a matte border you're going for. So this goes inch-wise, looks like it goes from, got an inch marker, so maybe 3/4 of an inch, there to there, which you can't see because I'm basically off pointer. Okay, so your cutting line is still right around here, and you got a 1 here, so that'd be a 1-inch border. 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe a 6. I think you can probably pop out here. Otherwise, you're out of luck. You're going to be doing freehand, which is what I normally do. But this contraption here, you got these little fittings here. If they're loose, they should slide right back in these grooves. Like so. And this moves up and down. And as it moves up and down, it keeps it at the right angle to what your measurements here. Now, herein lies the trickery part. It's called math. So, a little bit of math goes like this. Let's say we had something to write on here, and this here. So, let's say we had something that is, okay, what I'm going to be framing, let's start with that. The piece of work I'm framing is, I believe it's 18 by 24, right? So, this mat we cut out, let's pretend it was 28 tall by 22. Okay, so you basically take your height of the other one, which is 24, not times, but by, and then 1/8, and subtract them. So, you know, 4 from 8 is 4, 2 and 2 is 0, and so you got 4 by 18, 8, take away 22, 18, whatever, that's 4, right? 8 from 12, 4, 1, 1, 0. So we've got a 4 and 4 here. Now, divide that by 2 for each side. This is about the total width of it, 2 each side, and you get 2 into 4 goes 2 times equals 2 into 4 goes 2 times. So this here's working out that if we get a 2-inch border, this here's going to be gravy. This is what we want. But there's one catch. That is if you just do your size. So the overall size of the thing I'm trying to frame is 18 by 24. But you don't want that. You actually want to come in probably about at least a quarter of an inch on both sides, right? You got your squared piece here. You want a quarter inch to go on the inner side of this thing, so you have the work will actually be supported on the outside of it. And to do that, you're looking at, if you're doing, like to do decimals here, 0.25, then you times that by 2, times 2, and that gives you 0.50. And if you take that away from your 18, that should give you 17.50. Now, you can go back and do all the math that way, or at the end here we have this 2, and that's just for one side of the border. Just add 0.25, and that gives you a 2.25 bevel. So that's how thick it's going to be when you cut it out. Now, the problem came about when I was thinking about this, that my outer dimensions weren't 22 and 28, remember. It was 22 less the 16th of an inch. So I actually had 20, got this little white paper I borrowed here, 21 point, no, not 16th. Yeah, so my 16th gives you 15/16. That's 0.94, right? And then you take away your 18 from that, 1/8, go 0, which is 94.3, cancel out. So 3.94, pretty close to your, you see that in there? Yeah, pretty close to your 2 inches, but 3.94. Then you divide that by 2. Gave me 2 equals 1.97. Now I'm at 1.97. Now if I were to go a quarter inch in from there, plus a 0.25, 1, 2, 2 point. Now we're back to 2.22. Now 2.22 is really close to 2.25, which is our nice 2 1/4. But I figured, okay, so we know that quarter inch is 0.25, right? So we have 0.22. We take away that leaves us with 0.03. You with me so far? If not, that's fine. Just be careful when you're cutting stuff. But so 0.03. Now, 1/16 of an inch is I believe it's 0.0625. And that's a 1/16 of an inch. So what we're talking about here is different, is less than a 1/16 of an inch. That's like a half of a 1/16. And if I had like a micrometer, which might be another video, micrometer would I can bust that out exactly. So we're not doing that. What we're going to do is just slap this thing in here at 2. I'll bring you back in so you can see what's going on here. 2, and I'm going to go actually just a 1/16 less than a 1/16 less than a half. Right on there. Now, tighten these knobs down. That's going to keep them from sliding around. Back it up here so we can shove me tighten on the other one. If I can get up now. Oh, doing math on the floor is no fun. Okay, so tighten this down here. Okay, that gives us a good edge to go up against. Next, what we'll be doing is we take our mat board and we'll lay it down flat on that, face down, up against our straight there, and close this. Then we'll do lines. Pencil line here, like so. Pick it up, give it a turn, up against there again. Put this down, and pencil line it. I know this is probably a little bit hard to see with the black matting there, but if I ever have to do this again, I'll do a white matting. But this is what you need. You need to have your pencil lines in there. And you don't, technically, if you're used to this, you don't really need to have a whole long pencil line. Just like a reference. Basically where the pencil lines cross. So I can just go down here and up here a little bit. And one more pencil line. Now there are other parts to this set that you don't need to have a pencil line with. We have stops, and I never use those stops because that's more for I think production cutting. And you put them on this rail here, at the top and bottom, and that'll stop your cutter. Like show you where to start it and stop it. Now then, because we're doing the bevel cut, you take this here again, your scrap piece of slip sheet, stick it in there, and you need that, otherwise it will not cut good. Now butt that up against it, close that. Okay, now we're ready to proceed with the beveling. Once again, this is where this cutter comes into place. We got the hook parts here. That's going to go on the rail, and on the back side of this, we have this this line right there. That is going to go on the graphite part. Well, the graphite, the pencil line. So let's see if we can zoom in on it here. Try to find a line. I can see it's already crying, doesn't want to focus on anything. There. There is a line there. Now then. Now then. I will attempt to make a cut here without to get on my knees, because it's hard flooring. So, I'm putting this here, the hooks under the rail, and I'm going to back it up here a little bit. A little bit more there. Now it's right on that. The line on the cutter is right on the graphite line. A little hard to see there, but it's right there, right? So, next movement, I'm going to push down on the black plunger part there, which will poke the blade through the matting, and I'll slide on down to where that line hits up with the line at the bottom, all the while holding the frame top here so it doesn't slide around. So it's going to be pushed down to cut into it, and slide on down. And then when we get to the end there, just pop back up. Okay. Now, I'll go ahead and zoom out. And cut the other 4 sides here. Like so. Give it a rotate. I just said like rotate it to the right. I don't know if it really matters too much, but rotate it up against the thing. On the guard. This down. And back up here. And when you slide it down, you try to do a nice smooth motion. Okay. Put it back in place here. Clamp down. And get that smooth motion again. And one more. Like I said, a workbench like the one outside would be great to use, but not right now because it's dark. Okay. Oops. There. Now, take my little cutter away for the safety. And if everything went right, I can lift this up, and my mat board might, with a slight pop, lift out of here. Oops. There, see? Now then, this right here is what we're looking for. Nicely cut mat. And this part here, I'll save for later. in case I come up with something else I need to cut. So there's my nicely cut mat, and we'll see if we can get some zooming in here to show what I mean. Alright, so right in here somewhere is the bevel. And once again, if I had a white bevel, you can see it better. But you can see right now, you can see the I guess the wine color, and then you can see the black, right? Giant finger. So the black right in here, that is the beveling. So it's about what, an eighth of an inch or so of a bevel. And yeah, there's how to cut a frame mat in a few steps, and basically how this tool works overall. And I don't know if there's more you can do with it. I know, like I said, you can cut foam board, but I also could just cut foam board with a straight edge on the work table outside. So whatever. But I don't know. I tend to find this. Well, I tend to find this easier to do, like in another setting. If I'm outside with straight edge, I could probably do this a little bit quicker. I usually end up measuring it all out and cutting it out, but this machine here, especially if I have this stop here, the middle rail there, that saves a lot of time from remeasuring and resetting up your cuts. So it's looking pretty good. I will take my little artwork thing that I'm framing, stick it in there and fasten it with some acid-free tape, and finish up this little project I'm working on. But this has probably been not too quick of a guide of how to use one of these Logan mat cutters. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, would you? And if you have any, I don't know, if you want to see me try to go through anything else, show off a tool or a project, let me know too in the comments. That's what I can do. And thanks for watching. I'm going to finish up this project and go to bed.